Karen, you're on.
I'm here.
Hillary's on and Heidi's coming in. Awesome.
Hi.
Happy Monday. Hey again. How is everybody?
Good.
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 We're heading into March. There's an end.
Yes.
Hopefully, right? Right. We all know there's an end. I can't complain. It hasn't been bad here in Wisconsin at all. In my part of the state. Just been cold. So
Yep.
could be a lot worse. And we're not in a war, so that's even better. I know.
Yep. Terrible.
It's horrible, isn't it? Ugh. Hard to listen to it. And yeah. And, I think the worst part for me is, maybe for this, I can just speak to for myself, but I can't do anything about it. And it's that helpless feeling, like you want to do something and you can't. So just have to control what we can, and it's ourselves and what we do. That's all we can do is control that piece, right?
Yeah. Sad.
So that's coming on, so that's good. Awesome, ladies. So cool. So interesting topic. I wanted to, we talk about, obviously part of your health and fitness journey is exercise, right? We talk a lot about nutrition and mindset and all kinds of different things. But, and just resetting ourselves and pivoting and that. But, what are some exercises? Let's talk about that kind of the fun stuff. So I thought it's a really good topic for Monday. So what I find, and just a lot of research out there too, there are better exercises that can build, I don't want to say faster, but you're going to be using a lot more oxygen and more calories, just so obviously you want to burn calories, burn fat, build muscle, all that kind of stuff. And so there are certain exercises that will do that more so than others. Combination of everything is important, but I wanted to talk about those kind of the strength workouts, right? Hey, Jody.
Hey there.
And Pat, welcome. So we really should be focusing on the major multi-joint movements. That should be like the basis of strength and conditioning and I really am speaking for women our age group, right, and up, because we can still build lean muscle. It does take a little more effort, especially on the nutrition side. And as we do get older, our activity levels tend to be a little bit different than when we were younger and chasing kids, although chasing grandkids is right up there too. So, so some of those exercises, and we can talk about those, but our squats. So you can do body weight squats, which are really good, good warm up, or as a beginner. And a lot of these compound, I call them compound, but they're multi-joint, kind of the same thing. You can use dumbbells, barbells, kettlebells. Gosh, when we were shut down at the gym with COVID, we would have people grab water bottles or cans at their home, just to get a workout in and get some resistance. But you can use resistant bands too. So, or cable machines. There's so many different things that you can use for the multi-joint movements or the compound movements. And, when you talk about squats, you can use a barbell on your back. You could use it holding it in the front. You can use dumbbells on your shoulders, hanging down, that kind of thing. You can do a wide stance. I call them sumo squats, where your feet are wider apart, your toes are kind of pointed out, or a narrow stance squat, which is more targeted to your quadriceps. So many different variations of these types of exercises. You can deadlifts. Deadlifts are, not only for your back, but they're for your glutes and your hamstrings. And of course, they work your quadriceps too. And just think about the different varieties of deadlifts too. You can use dumbbells, you can use a barbell, you can use what they call a trap bar or a hex bar. Like if you're in a gym, you use things like that. Single-legged deadlifts, right? You can do the Bulgarian deadlift. So your one foot's a little bit elevated behind you. There's lots of different variations. Again, kettlebell you can use, but you can also use cables. There's just lots of different variety with the deadlifts. But again, just all the joints, you're using your hips, right? And you're also using your shoulders for deadlifts and squats if you're holding something. So it's just all that. It's kind of like the more muscle that's involved, the more blood flow, the more oxygen, the more calories you need to do those types of movements, and more beneficial to get rid of body fat and things like that. So bent over rows. So bending over with the knee up on a bench or on, an ottoman in your home, anything like that, where you're rowing up and you're using your back muscle, right? Your lats, typically those. Again, you can use a barbell or dumbbells. You can do single leg or single arm, just like you do with your legs. So you can do one arm at a time. You can do both arms at a time. When you're grasping the bar, you can use your underhand or your overhand grip to row as well. When you hold a dumbbell, typically you're holding, I should have a dumbbell with me, but I don't. You're holding it like this, right? And you're pulling it up. You can also turn it like this and your arm is out like this, doing a row. A lot of different variations there. You're using your elbow, your shoulders, your wrists, and working big, large muscle at the same time. So your back muscles, all of your back muscles. If you've ever seen a poster that just has the body with all the muscles, there's 206 different muscles. And you just think about all of those that are located in your back. It's crazy, to think about that. That's my favorite poster of the human body, is just all the muscle groups. It's sometimes you can't even pronounce them, So bent over rows are a really, really good one. And then your bench presses, or your chest presses, I should say. So chest presses can be done on a bench. It can be flat, it can be inclined, it can be straight up. It can be you can do it on the floor. You can do them on a stability ball, a Bosu ball, anything like that. When you're doing things on a ball, obviously you're going to be working your core, and that's another core work is a multi-joint movement, because you're not only working your obliques and your upper and your lower abdominal, but you're usually using accessory muscles to work your core. You are working your core when you're squatting, when you're deadlifting, when you're lunging, because you're holding that core nice and tight, right? So I think one of the best core workouts is when you're doing your leg workouts, because you're really holding that nice and firm. Should always be really, really aware of your core. So, and then when I'm talking about presses, chest presses or whatever, just lots of different variations with that too. It's typically you're holding your dumbbells up like this, but you can hold them this way and do it. Like I've got something going on with my shoulder, so I'm being really, really careful as to how I'm positioning my dumbbells. And so you're still going to get a good workout in that area. It's just a different hold. If you work out at home, you have a certain set of weights. When you work out in a gym, the handles might be smaller, might be bigger, different kinds. You're going to get a different kind of workout when you use a variety of different equipment. Same like if you're using a kettlebell versus a dumbbell, it's a different hold on it. So you work different muscles. So it's kind of all of that. And then the other one is like an overhead press. So again, you can use dumbbells, you can use a barbell, You can use two smaller kettlebells, depending on how and you can hold them different. You can hold them this way when your hands are facing out. You can hold it this way and push it up like this. So Pam's coming in here. So just so many different variations. So with the workouts that you guys are getting, it's just different variations. If you have an injury or something going on, there's different ways that you can hold the dumbbells or the barbell or anything like that. And that's why I really want to know if you guys are having any pain when you're doing these kind of movements, because there's just so many different variations and you'll still get the same effect, using the compound movements and things like that. So, and the compound movements, that doesn't mean that that's all you do, but it's a really good, I want to say base. Everybody should be doing that. I don't care how old you are, but especially as we get older, and there's reasons for that, right? Osteoporosis, our ligaments, our joints, our tendons all need to be stronger as we do get older. Our cores need to be stronger, be able to hold us up. And you think about the pelvic floor and all the muscles in there, and we forget about that. But if you look at a picture of the pelvic floor, you think about all the muscles that go into the, you having babies, right? You're pushing those babies out. Even if you haven't had children, gravity takes effect as you get older. Men have the same problem. But there's so many muscles in there. And so it's so important to work that core in a variety of different, and the compound movements help, your squats and your lunges. And I bet you all can tell the difference from before you've worked out to now and how strong your cores are. And it's just like when you open a car door and there's a curb there and you accidentally trip up. If you're in, you have this good solid base with these workouts, you're not going to be, if you do fall, you're going to be able to bounce back up, but you're also going to be able to catch yourself if you do trip, because you're going to you're going to grab yourself and be able to hold yourself up. So as we get older, especially over, this is over the age of 65, your incidence of falling increases pretty drastically. So it's just behooves people to keep moving. So that doesn't mean you don't do any other exercises. So adding the single joint movement, we're talking about bicep curls, we're talking about tricep work, right? Any of the hip adduction means pull in, ab, you're pushing out, anything like that, clamshells, there's our machines, the adductor and abductor machines, at the gyms that you go to, but any type of, if you're using like a band or something, resistance band, and you're moving your legs in and out, those are adduction or abduction type movements. And so you want to have a variety. So you want to add some of those in, specifically to target those certain muscles, your biceps and your triceps, right? So you want to add that in with some of those compound movements. Also, the other thing we want to add in, and you guys can all attest to this, is weight-bearing exercises. And what I mean by that is walking, jogging, if you like to do that. That's not the end all be all, but hiking, dancing. You go out dancing with your friends. Oh my gosh, that is like the best ever. Jumping, and not many of us women like to jump, but even like step ups, if you're stepping up and you're doing work that way, that is, and free weights and machines, if you're in a gym, resistant bands, those are all really good things to have. And that impacts your muscle and bone health, helps muscles grow, just like your compound movement. So having a variety makes a lot of sense. And so, and then of course you have your cardio, and I'm going to be doing my Facebook Live on Wednesday in Mind Body Beautiful. It's going to be talking about, I think it's Pam and I had this conversation, women and getting bulky. They don't want to lift weights because they're going to be bulky like a man, and that's a myth. That's not going to happen. So I'm going to be talking about that on Wednesday, and a little bit of this too. And we can't possibly get bulky like a man because our testosterone levels won't allow that. It's just a fact. Now, if you want to be and look like a man, you can do that. Most of us don't want to do that or look like that. And that's steroids and high doses of testosterone. And just like as we age and our testosterone levels drop, men included, we can supplement. Women supplement with very tiny little amounts. Men are larger amounts, more intramuscularly injected versus a woman, which is a sub-Q, small amount. So there is no possible way. So, when we talk about building lean muscle, it's not getting bulky. It's about definition. It's about being strong, being able to carry your own groceries in, all 50 bags at once. I hate going back to my car. I want to do it all at once. So, it's not going to, that's not going to happen. And so, I'm a little off topic because I wanted to kind of just focus on this, but the other thing, along with, the exercises too, is making sure you're getting protein, all your foods, right? Protein, nutrient dense foods, anti-inflammatory foods. You want your calcium, you want your vitamin D, and especially as we get older. Part of that is because of, and I'm not speaking about you guys, but as the majority of people get older, their activity dwindles. They don't eat as much because they're not hungry as much. And so a lot of times that's where you get to that, you start to become overweight and you're not burning the fat. So having that variety in your fitness, but also making sure you're eating enough. It has to be for your own body type too. So what works for me might not work for you, but what works for Pam's not going to work for Pat. You guys are all each individuals. And so that's why it's important, these exercising is really key, but there might be some things that you're unable to do for various reasons, whether it's you're not going to a gym or you have an injury that you're unable to do that. And so that's why it's
plain old.
Yeah. Oh, come on, you're not old. So
Yeah.
because you don't want to keep, because as we get older, we lose muscle strength, and that's going to cause a disability, right? We're going to be couch potatoes, and we don't want to do that. So, and I look at like my uncle who just passed away, my mom's twin brother. My mom is super active, on the go, walking the dog constantly. My uncle was sedentary, same age, brought up the same way, two very different thoughts about how they chose to live their life. And he died young from just being inactive. His mind was starting to go because all he did is watch TV. And he had some dogs there, but he never walked them, so he was my favorite uncle, my godfather, all that, but he just made those choices. Not that he's a bad person, but that's the difference. And so activity and movement is medicine. That's what I keep saying. So keep moving, get moving, and you guys are all there. So that's, and honestly too, the more muscle you have, you have a lot more water in your body, but you know what? It really influences your aerobic capacity too. So you have nice lean muscle, you've got good blood flow, all of that. Your aerobic capacity is larger than someone who's inactive too. So many benefits of that. And that's, important. So having those strength compound movements, it should be your base. Adding the isolated type single movements, your biceps and triceps and that kind of thing, calves, and then adding a little bit of some cardio, HIIT, whatever it is, in there, whether it's walking, it could be swimming, it could be anything like that, is beneficial. So it's the whole piece of that. So hopefully that's helpful. I know I don't remember who brought it up as a good topic, but thank you whoever did, because I think that's important to talk about the fun stuff, because most of us like to exercise and keep moving. It's the nutrition piece that sometimes can get daunting, and kind of that whole mindset thing, but it's kind of fun to talk about the fun stuff. But when you talk about that, that's motivating enough to know that what you guys are doing is what you should be doing. And you're good role models for your friends and your family and people who see you at the grocery store, out walking or whatever it is, because I mean, you're going to be looked up to because you are doing that. And so anyway, great topic. Anybody have any, like, anything they want to inject into that or questions?
I don't know if, I'm sure they all know this, but just for, in the instance that maybe somebody doesn't know it, it's not necessarily a race to get through your strength training. Go slow, you know, the time under tension as far as the muscle instead of,
Yeah.
you know, slow, you know, and
Definitely.
squeeze at the top.
Yeah, and so it's the contract, you're contracting the muscle, but then when you're pulling it out, go slow. You could hurt your tendons and things like that if let's say you're pushing something up, if you just drop and then you push it up and then you just drop. I mean, you can really hurt yourself. So if you're pushing it up, you want to come down slow, then push it up. You actually want to, in this instance, push it and then come down nice and slow. And really you can, as you continue to exercise, you can actually feel your muscles working. Do you guys feel that sometimes?
Yeah.
Like you're like, oh, I just felt my,
God, yeah.
I know and so the more you're thinking about what you're doing and what muscles you're working, you're going to engage those too. That's a really good point, Jody, too. It's just feeling it, like feeling that bicep. And one thing too, as we get older and you're doing, let's say you're doing some squats, like I'll put in for you guys 12 reps, 15 reps. If it's like too easy, you're like, oh, that's nothing. I want you to go heavier. And if you have to do less reps, that's okay. But do it until, do it until maybe you only have one rep left that you can do, or to failure where you can't do anymore. So these workouts are made, to do a couple weeks, sometimes a couple weeks in a row so that you can build on them. Lift, if you're starting with 10 pounds, say, then maybe by next week or the week after you're at 12. And so when I review your profiles, I can see that you're going up in weight. You guys can feel it too. And it's exciting to go, hey, I used to do that with 5 pounds. Now I can do it with 8 or whatever.
So I have a question about the machines.
Yeah.
So, I go back and forth between my gym and LA Fitness, and LA Fitness has more machines.
Yeah.
Today I did some kind of a shoulder thing this way, a press.
Okay.
And it's a Life Fitness machine.
Okay.
And then I did a pull that I had to pull this way too for the back and the shoulders. I can't think of what it's called because I'm so tired. But I was able to do at LA Fitness on the lifestyle machine way more weight than the one in my gym, which is on tension cords.
Okay.
It's a machine that you sit against with your chest against it, and then you pull this way.
Yep.
Back.
Yep.
Totally
Well,
different.
I can only do, I think, 20 pounds with the one in the gym, in my gym, and at LA Fitness, I was able to do 45.
Different machine.
Why is that?
Yeah, different machine, different cable system, could be different handles, could be because the machine's older than the other one. So that's like when you travel too, and you go to a gym to work out and you've not been there, it's different. Like the machines look the same, but it's going to be a different feel. That's probably really good, Pat, that you're able to, have a chance to do that in the different gyms and things like that. But there are differences in a lot of,
I think the machines at my gym are geared to older people because, of course, I'm in an older community. And when you go to LA Fitness, there's, God, so many different machines.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So that's really what it is. It's just different manufacturers too. Doesn't mean that one's better than the other. And it could be just maintenance on them too. I don't know. Like sometimes at the gym that I go to, things are a little like they need to get worked on because they're not you know, you think about it, people are on and using those over and over. But yeah, you're gonna find that just like different dumbbell brands have different handles, thicknesses. You know, like if I'm
And now
grabbing,
my hands are sore
yes,
from LA Fitness because their curl bars and all of that, they're like so rough
yes.
on these delicate hands.
So
So I said, oh God, now I'm going to have to get weight gloves and I'm really going to look like, who do I think I am? You know?
You know, the other thing you can do, and this is probably worse, but I've taken like washcloths or towels and grabbed things and my hands are rough. My hands are rough, but they still bother me. Yeah, gloves. I mean, you can get smaller gloves.
Yeah. Yeah. When I was 40 and I was hot and I did that, I had all that stuff, you know. So
Oh, you're still
I guess
hot.
I guess I'll pretend, you know, here I am.
Nothing wrong with using gloves.
No.
With my matching, you know, tights and everything.
And
Yes.
leg warmers.
Yeah.
No leg warmers, please. That would really make me look old. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Listen, you got to dress. Even dressing for the gym, believe it or not, makes you feel better.
It does, doesn't it?
That's how I.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a great
Sure.
question because that does happen between gyms and people's equipment and stuff like that. That's pretty. It's sometimes you get a better workout going somewhere else than your normal place because it's.
Well, I did. I've kind of felt badass today climbing up on that. Oh yeah, climbing up on that assisted machine. I
Yep.
did an extra thing today because I was feeling so good.
Yeah.
I did. I got to climb up. That's a climb for somebody my age. Once I get up there, I'm fine. But trying to get off, oh boy.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
It's a
about. You have to be
balance.
careful.
It's a balancing act to
Mhm.
keep the assisted, whatever the pad is that you kneel on,
Right.
from going down, you know.
Right. Yeah.
So today I had to really give it some effort.
Yeah, that's good though. That's good because that all that movement, that's just like when you're moving weights around and stuff. That's really beneficial for you too. You know, you're using calories and stuff like that. So yeah, I love it.
Oh,
I love it.
God. I'll tell you on Friday what I had to do with the barbell in this gym today. I had to walk around the whole place with the barbell. Oh God. The place is packed and there's so many people in that weight room, men, you know, and they all control all the barbells. And I had to find one to do that thing you made me do. And I had to walk around all these people with this big giant barbell. Oh boy, I got to work out today. That's why I'm so tired.
Yeah.
Swing it around. They'll get away from you.
I love it. I love it. That's good. That's good.
I do too.
Yeah. What does anybody else have anything? Come on, you guys.
I started out, did some yoga this morning.
Oh yeah.
Went on, I can bring
Good.
up YouTube. I can bring up YouTube on my TV. So I went to beginners yoga
Nice.
and spent about 20 minutes
Good for you.
and I feel better. And then I came home tonight after work and before I ate dinner and I did my strength training and conditioning and some extra.
Oh
So.
wow. You guys are
Oh,
killing it.
boy.
Monday must be extra day for everybody, huh?
Feel good.
Good. No, yoga is awesome. It really is. I say it's awesome.
go tomorrow.
I don't go like I should. But when I do, I always feel better. And what it does is it helps open up those muscles so that you get the blood gets in there, you gets rid of some of those knots. And yeah, it's not my favorite thing, but it does.
I just am in a really rural area and there's not a whole lot of anything. I have to drive at least 30 minutes
Oh, wow. Sure.
to at this point to go to a decent gym or to a yoga class so I do a lot at home.
Mhm.
Figure out ways to do it at home.
Right. Right.
So,
Yeah.
but things are starting to loosen up here. So they're going to start opening up gyms and stuff. They won't be so restricted again.
That's
So.
good. I know a lot of places are. Hopefully you guys are finding that where you live too. Things are
Yeah.
a little bit more open and
Yep.
Don't feel so confined and
Yeah,
with what you want to do and be able to go and have a little more freedom and
absolutely.
socialize and,
Yep.
all that good
Absolutely.
stuff. Good, good. Karen, you're quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tired, I guess.
yeah, right. How are you doing? Any questions, anything we can help you with?
No questions, but I can relate to the different machines and stuff because, I have the cable system
Right.
in my home. And then I did go ahead and buy some hand weights, and it's totally different
It
because
is.
on the cable machine, I'm like, oh, I can do this much weight. And then I got the hand weights and I was like, wait, this is totally different feeling.
Yes, it is. It is.
Yeah. So
Well,
I
good.
can't-
I'm glad you did that.
Yeah. So you'll see different weights, but
Yes.
that's why.
Good,
Because
good.
each
And you'll,
one, what I'm
you'll-
using. And some
yeah.
of the
Sorry.
exercises I still use the cable machine, then some exercises I use the hand weights.
Okay.
Just
No, it's
for
good.
like a lot of the flies and stuff like that. I found I like the hand weights a lot better.
Yeah, yeah. It's a little bit, you have a little bit more control over it too. And, yeah, good.
Yeah,
Good.
so I was concentrating so much on controlling that cable, I couldn't really do the fly the way I wanted to do
Mhm.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And that's good because you'll see different results too,
Mhm.
so that'll be good. I'm glad you did that. Awesome. Cool.
Yeah, seeing results, you can feel the difference and see the difference more than the scale tells you. That's
Right.
the one thing I can tell some of the newer women coming on. Don't let the scale mess
Right.
with your head because it all balances out.
It does.
Mhm.
It does. Yeah, we're just it's kind of ingrained in us from little on almost. And every time you go to the doctor too, right? They want your
Oh
weight,
yeah.
and so then there's that piece. I mean, I get why they do that. I don't know that they need to do it every time, but for a physical or something like that. And medication adjustments, some require weights, so I get that piece too. But it's all that stuff that stresses you out. But if you know, if you know that that's just a number and not everything rides on that, you can tell yourself that too. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. What about Hillary? What's going on over now you're in Idaho, right?
Yep, Idaho. We're supposed to get some really nice weather coming up. So I'm
Good.
really looking forward to getting outside and doing some hiking and walking. And I did have a question.
Yeah.
I was doing a really great yoga. It was about a week ago. And then all of a sudden I'm like kind of moving in a way I hadn't moved for probably a while. And I was having cramps.
Oh.
Like I got like a cramp like on this side. And then a couple days later, I got a cramp on this side. And so I'm just like, do you guys ever get cramps
Yeah.
when you move odd ways?
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
where
that
I get
just-
them. I get them in my feet.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had that before too. But
Mhm.
I was just wondering if is that maybe sometimes because your internal is maybe loosening up a bit more and going different directions.
Yeah, and it's what it is. It's your muscles kind of confused with what you're doing, and sometimes it can be related to water intake too. If you're not drinking enough, you might be low on some sodium. That might be part of it too. If you're really like watching your sodium intake, but those cramps, yeah, that's normal. It happens.
Okay.
I would just keep an eye on it. You don't want to. You have to also be careful that cramp isn't like a hernia or something. But if it's
Right.
up higher, probably not. It would be more lower. That would
Yeah.
be more of the problem. But yeah, that is normal. And hydration and maybe just stretching a little bit in those areas before you do the yoga. I mean, I know
Yeah,
yoga stretching, but
Get those in your rib area. What is that called? Where you can pull those things, tendons or whatever in your
Oh,
ribs.
the intercostal.
Yeah, so
yeah.
that might be part of it too.
That could be,
Stretching,
right.
being
Yeah.
sometimes you can,
warms up.
yeah, sometimes those lower ribs, and I'm pointing at and I'm feeling mine, can go out of place in a way where you have to like push them back in.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
your ribs go all the way to the back. So you can think about that. So that might be, that's a good point, Karen, too. That might be part of it too. Maybe you've got a little bit of something going on there too. Not that that's bad, but just
Yeah.
kind of watch that. Is it super painful?
Yeah, it
Oh,
was. It was
yeah.
until then it was just like, oh, I was afraid now to go back and do it. But
Mhm.
the move, it was a different move I hadn't ever done. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. And then as I'm just going for it, then it was like, oh my gosh,
Takes
I'm
your
never
breath
going to
away.
do this again. Yeah.
Yeah. If you see
Yoga?
like,
Yeah. Yoga.
About yoga,
yeah.
a yoga move?
Hmm. Yeah. It was just an odd way to stretch.
Huh.
I mean,
Mhm. I can't tell you what
did
the
that
move
once
is,
just
but
getting out of bed. I pulled my toes,
Mhm.
so I know that hurts. I mean, if that's what it is,
Hmm.
I just turned wrong getting out of bed and felt like I did something to my ribs, and that's what it was.
You know, if you, I don't know if you have a chiropractor or a physical therapist that you can ask them too, because there is a way that you can manipulate like that. If that rib is kind of doing something, that you can manipulate that back, if that's what it is. But if it's truly just like a really big muscle cramp, it just might be maybe too much. So maybe if you do that move, just maybe not go full throttle with it.
yeah.
Well, I started taking yoga about 2 weeks ago, twice a week. And one of the things that she said to us, because I'm a beginner, even though I take Pilates, she said, every pose and every movement you go into, you must do it very slowly. She said, don't try to get into that position immediately. She said, you got to really go slow to know if your body is going to be able to,
Mhm.
you know, even get there.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good advice.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. So I go real slow.
Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
a lot of us are so used to just like lifting our weights and doing it, and we do a little kind of fast, and then we go to yoga and we think we need to
Boom,
like,
boom, yeah.
Mhm.
that's a good point. Very, and I guess I get like that too. And then I get frustrated with myself if I don't get that pose right. And it shouldn't really, as long as I'm trying right and getting some benefit out of it, it should be okay.
Mhm.
So that's a good point. Yeah,
It's hard to slow down.
it is. It is,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Take that breather and take that time. Oh, for sure.
Right.
We live very fast-paced lives.
Yeah, we do.
Bam, 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 right? And then we wonder, now here it's Monday night already, and whoa, where did the day
Where's
go?
Monday?
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. Does that help, Hillary?
Yeah, that's good. Thank
Good, good. What about Heidi?
you.
I'm sitting here thinking I have to get my workout in today. But I'm good. I do things from home
Yep.
because I'm sort of too in a rural area and just I've tried gym. I mean, I had a gym for 17 years and I miss it so much, but the little gyms around here, it didn't ever seem to work for me. So I have to be creative. I told my husband we bought a piano from my sister-in-law and I actually used the piano bench for flies.
Oh, I do
So
too.
See?
I'm-
Perfect.
I'm taking chairs and ottomans and piano benches and whatever. But it works.
Awesome. Yeah,
I don't play the
whatever
piano, so
works. No,
Piano bench is just a,
it is.
it is. That is
Yeah.
perfect. Does it have a seat the seat open? You can put your weights in it.
Yeah, not quite that big, but
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of fun to be creative, and do some different things. I know that takes a little imagination, but just think you're using your brain and your body. So it's your mind-body connection and
Right.
perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm riding a lot of competitive. One thing that I'm noticing is I'm riding competitively more on my horse, and I have a different horse.
Yeah.
And so she's here and then she's here. So my hips, I have found muscles that I didn't know that I had riding
Oh,
her.
I bet.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, that would be different, probably like wider or narrower horse or whatever too, right?
Right.
Okay,
And
sure.
it's trying to stay on because that's the point.
Right. Yeah. Mhm. I'll leave
So
that to you.
I'm good. Yeah.
Good, good. No, that's good. I mean, that's an activity that you like, and that's great. You
Mhm.
have to have those hobbies and.
But you know what I noticed too?
Yeah.
So from last year when I joined in July,
Yeah.
I was showing then, and I do the cattle work, but I also show with my daughter, and that's a different style. And so we do some English riding and things like that.
Okay.
And one of the things that let me know that I was probably physically kind of in trouble in a place I've never been is after one of our classes, you had to post in the saddle, just kind of up and kind of hold yourself up and down,
Oh.
up and down.
Sure.
And I was so red and sweated up and just so incredibly sore from doing that. And now my riding has even improved because I'm stronger.
Right. Right.
I've those muscles really, I mean, I always kind of knew they did, but now I really see the difference from when I wasn't taking care of myself and lifting. Cause I've always sort of lifted when I went to the gym, but not where I was so focused on it. And I'm noticing that it's helping me be stronger in other areas of my life. Even in the wintertime, just, you know how it is, it's icy and it's this and that. And I feel a little more, I don't know, just a little more secure in myself.
Stable.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
stronger. Yeah. Like even if you have to shovel a little snow or something, it's different.
Right.
Like, oh man, I can lift this ice or whatever chunk or, it's so different from
Mhm.
before.
Yeah.
Totally.
And I was going to add too, when we were talking about yoga, one of the things I now take it to at home, like we talked about what people are doing.
Yeah.
But I used to be able to take classes, and they were also very specific, like Pat was saying about beginner, intermediate, advanced. And that's what sometimes it's hard to distinguish in the videos because they might be doing more advanced moves, but
Right.
really they don't really specify where you should be at in terms of what you're trying. So
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. Yeah. Yoga is, it's, so the gym that I belong to, there's so many different kinds of yoga. There's yoga flow. There's hot yoga.
Mhm.
There's a yoga that,
Vinyasa,
yeah, it's just like,
asana.
yeah. Yeah. And I just
Mhm.
want to just give me the basic. I don't need anything crazy, but yeah, and some of them I really struggle in and others I don't. So I think it might just be the moves that they have you do that day.
Mhm. Mhm.
The hot yoga is not bad, but when I'm so warm, then I'm not really focused on what I'm trying to do either. So I don't know, but it does make you feel good and refreshed and
Mhm. It's a great workout. It
it
really is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I like the words they use for the body parts. I think the stomach is called the Uddiyana Bandha or something like that.
Yeah.
She'll say, pull your Uddiyana Bandha in. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Where's that?
Sounds
Yeah. Yeah. My what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, different
Now I
language.
go to the gym and it's like,
Mhm.
Uddiyana Bandha, pull it in, pull it in.
All the different terminology, right? Oh, I know for sure. I just kind of, what I end up doing is just watching people and then I copy them. It's like, well, if they're doing it that way, I'll
No,
do it. What's that?
never copy anybody else. Oh my God.
Yeah, but
They
if
could
all
be
six
doing it
of them-
wrong.
if all 6 of them there are doing it, then I have to follow somebody. Because the yoga
I-
instructor doesn't always do all the moves because she's walking around.
Oh no.
Mhm.
Find
Yeah.
And she gives modifications, which is very important because, I have that one knee
Right.
that just doesn't want to bend properly. And some of the yoga poses, you got to be bending the knee, and she'll tell you how to do it, which is great.
Yeah.
You really need an instructor who knows what they're doing.
Yeah. And you need somebody to show you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you tend to, that's part of the reason I think I don't really like them. I want somebody that I can look at, that I can follow. But some of those people are taking those classes and they probably know more than the instructor does, but
Right.
Yeah. But it is
Not
something
in
that's
mine.
beneficial for sure. But Pam, you're kind of quiet. That's unusual.
Yeah.
No. I am just chilling, taking it all in. I have never done yoga.
Ah,
I've considered it, but I have never done it.
right.
No particular reason, I guess, but
Right.
I don't, I know only a few of the moves and I don't even know from where. Well, I guess at the HIIT class I go to when we're stretching at the end, they do the child's pose. That's my favorite.
Yes. Yeah, mine too.
I don't even know if I know any other names, right? So I don't know.
Warrior 1 and 2 and
Yeah.
3 and
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah, I can't
Just
remember
a
them all.
good- It's very good for stretching and also for balance. And since I stopped Pilates, which had a lot of balance, the
Mhm.
yoga is like a substitute for it.
Right.
Well, I
And,
definitely.
and I find, I don't know about everybody else, but I find that when I go to the gym, anytime I go to the gym and I do my warm up and then I do my workout and then I cool down for whatever I do, I don't stretch.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm very tight.
Yes.
And that's why I wanted to go to do the yoga, to get that stretch at least 2 days a week.
Yeah.
I just don't have the
Mhm.
discipline to stretch after my workout. I
Yep.
want to go and get moving.
It's a good thing to get in the habit. You're right.
Yeah.
You are
Mhm.
absolutely right.
Stretching, I mean, we don't talk about stretching much at all
No.
here. And I think as you age, like, I keep saying I'm old, but I've exercised my whole life on and off. And I never was a stretcher. And I have areas that are so tight, and the weightlifting does make you tighter.
Mhm. You're right. Yep.
So I just think we all need to stretch more.
Right.
I know I do.
Oh, that's a good topic. We can talk about stretching. It's hard to,
Mhm.
it's,
Yeah.
talk about the benefits and some of the kind of what do I want to say? Basic stretches that we should all do.
Mhm.
Basic.
Yeah.
Basic.
And there's,
And the length too, because they used to always tell us if you're not doing a stretch for 30 seconds, you're
right.
not, I don't know if that's true, but I
It is.
always would, okay.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
gotta hold it.
I have heard that too.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
that's where you get annoyed. You're like, oh my God, I got to keep
I got stuff to
hold
do.
this one.
Yeah.
Gotta-
30 seconds.
What's-
It's a lifetime.
Yeah, it is. Well, when you're sitting there and you're stretching,
Mhm.
it feels like that, right? I know.
Mhm.
I know. And we're just all like this, right? Keep going. But
Yeah.
that's excellent. That's a good, just doing some basic, what should we be doing and how long? So, no, perfect.
Yeah.
I love ideas that we can talk about. So if you guys do have things that pop up, you can always send me a message like, hey, I want to know more about whatever, or let's just talk about, whatever it is that you want to talk about. That's fun stuff then. And because if one of us is thinking it, everybody else probably has thought about it too. So
Probably, yeah.
Yep. Well, cool. Anybody have anything else? Otherwise, I'm going to let you guys go and I'll post this in the group for a replay. And we good. Last day of February.
I know. Crazy.
Yay.
Woo. Getting there.
Tomorrow, my first child is gonna be 46 years old tomorrow.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness.
I can't believe it. And I waited 5 years when I got married to have a kid. So
Happy birthday to her.
that's,
Yeah.
I know, 46.
I know
I was
when your
just
kids,
thinking,
yeah. As your kids get older, then, we're getting older too. And they have these birthdays and I'm like, oh my gosh.
How did we get here?
Stop. Right.
When did that happen?
Right.
Yeah.
Weren't you just a teenager? Yeah.
well, never mind that. I remember when I was 46.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
Right.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's
And-
so
And
true.
4 years she'll be 50. And I can remember my 50th birthday party.
Yeah.
It's like 50.
Right.
You're so young, Pat.
Almost.
Isn't she? Pat is
Yeah.
young.
Yes, you are.
Right.
She has a great,
Tell
she has
that
a great
to
role
the-
model.
Right.
Yeah, and she's very overweight, poor thing.
Oh,
She's a midget. She's 5'2", 5'3", so it's
Mm.
worse, you know.
yeah.
Oh,
At
That's
least
hard.
I have a little height. She doesn't.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I'm a midget over here.
I was gonna say, me
I'm
too.
only
Wow.
5'3" too.
I
Me
forgot,
too.
Me too.
forgot that's politically incorrect of me to say.
Short stature,
Small
small person,
small person.
small person. Yeah,
Even the dog breed.
I know. Not sure. Yeah.
All right.
anyway. All right. Thor says goodbye.
All right,
Mhm.
bye.
Bye.
See you guys
Bye.
next week. All right. Bye bye. Have a good one. Yeah.